return along with Stu Lance.
You know, the Lakers' average margin of victory last season against this Clipper team, Chick, was 22 points. This year in the 3 games, it's 7.
Well, you can't even talk about the Clippers in comparison to last year. That's unfair.
Especially since most of the Clippers are still going to junior high or so.
All right, Shaq will jump against Olowokandi. Shaq gets the tip. He gives him the back court to Shaw. Shaw coming in the front court with the dribble. He is guarded down there by Jeff McInnis. Now down the middle of Fox. Takes it over. 20-footer by Grant. Is good. He made the tip in at the end of the overtime that won the game for the Lakers in their last meeting, and he opens with a deuce here tonight. Well, if he could do that the rest of the year and improve maybe up to 12 points a game, Stu.
I think he will, Chick. I really do. I think in the second half, this is more horse race.
Miles over to Richardson. Richardson for the dribble. He's a rookie out of DePaul in Chicago, and a very good one, I might add. What young players Elgin Baylor brought to this ball game. Down the middle, McInnis, and he gets Odom. Left-hand 20-footer on the way is good. Odom ties it up. And Odom is their best player, perhaps, at this time. They got some youngsters who will be chasing him through the years. 6'10", 213-pounder out of Rhode Island, Odom. Fox with the ball, 2-2, and the ball over to Grant. He shoots over Miles from 40 again. That's no good this time, and the rebound to Olowokandi. The University of Pacific on our simulcast. McInnis with the ball. McInnis at the three-point line, and Kobe sags off him. The ball goes into Olowokandi. Has to stay out of foul trouble. Jackson and Shaq for a hook shot over him and scores over him. Nice shot. A hook shot with the right arm from 8 feet.
Well, Michael likes to shoot the little jump hook going to his left, showing Shaq that he can do it both ways.
4-2, the Lakers trail. And the ball in the front court to Shaw and low to Shaq. Blows the layup, gets it back, puts it up, puts it in. He missed a shot that a 3-year-old could have made on the first shot.
Right,
4-4.
Just padding his rebound, wanted to get an extra rebound in.
You're right. Now we got the score tied at 4. McInnis with the ball. Out in front, this cross down, fellas together. Odom's got it. Just hit a 20-footer. He's dribbling the ball. He backs up, passes in low. Olowokandi can't handle the pass, and the pass is off his hand to Kobe. Kobe in the front court. The defenders are back. Kobe in the front court. In the way, no good. And the rebound is off. And it comes off, taken high in the air by McInnis. He's a fine little guard out of North Carolina. Originally came into the league as the second-round pick with Denver. Now the pass kicked out of bounds by Kobe.
And with the new rule, the clock doesn't move at all in this instance because there were 15 on the shot clock, so they don't even have to reset it to 14. Leave it where it is.
If it was less than that, folks, say down to 12, they would have set it as indicated at 14. Odom's got it out of bounds. We got a 4-4 game. Odom brings the ball in to Darius Miles. Years of age. He'll be 20 in October. McInnis has got the ball, takes it in low, giving it off to Olowokandi. What do you do this time? Try to block it. Get the job done, and the kid hits another one. A 6-footer straight away. Olowokandi.
Nice fadeaway that time, and Shaq couldn't get to it.
He averages 7 points a game, and he's already got 4. Now the ball to the high post, and it goes to Grant, and Grant gives it back to Shaw. Shaw to Grant. Grant made one 20-footer, missed one. Now the ball brought over to Fox, good 3-point shooter. Then low to Shaq, dribble drive underneath the first layup. He's got the basket counts, but he stepped on the baseline as he went behind the board. That board extends 4 feet out from the baseline. Good call, but the referee was right on top of the play. 6-4, the Lakers trail the Clips in the opening minutes. And here's McInnis with the ball. McInnis brings it out in front. Odom's got it. He's a southpaw by nature. Now the ball for a 3-pointer on the way. Good. A nice shot put up and in by Quentin Richardson. Richardson knocks down his 22nd of the year on his 76th try. We go to the other end, and Fox goes under and makes a layup.
Well, I like Quentin Richardson a lot. He made that 3-pointer a second ago. He just really competes against everybody.
He's only a 28% 3-point shooter. The Clippers are 4 for 4 shooting, and they lead 9-6. Now the ball goes in low. Olowokandi trying to get fouls on Shaq. Hook shot no good. He got the foul on Shaq. They're doing exactly what their coach Alvin Gentry and staff has told them to do. Gentry is assisted by John Hammond, Dennis Johnson, Ron Kalanian, Igor Kokov, and Jason Powell, the trainer.
54% free throw shooter this year, so it's going to be a battle in the middle of which center can make the most free throws tonight.
Free throw no good by Olowokandi. Dex Winter, Frank Hamlin, Jimmy Clements, Billy Burke to the assistants for Jackson. Harry Beatty, the trainer. Free throw no good again. He missed them both. The rebound, however, is taken high in the air and taken by Miles. Miles beats it over the 3-point line. One bounce dribble, a 20-foot jumper, no good. Rebound off the hand of Shaq, taken by Shaw. The Lakers trail by 3. In the front court to Fox. Fox 3-pointer in the way. That's no good, and the rebound is off. It's taken by Odom. Odom, 21 years of age, turned 21 since the season started, his second year. Olowokandi looking like he's competent tonight. Shoots on the way. Is that another foul on Shaq? It's Shaq's second foul. Olowokandi doing exactly what he's been instructed to do. Take it at the big guy.
Well, again, Shaq is trying to just set him up for the block shot. He's not getting it, but he's getting pieces of the arm as Olowokandi brings the ball up. His elbow is extended, and as you're reaching for the ball, you get the elbow.
Shaq has fouled out of 2 consecutive games. I don't think in his career he's ever fouled out of 3 of them. Timeout is called between free throws.
Well, he guaranteed that he wouldn't foul out of this one, so he's got his work cut out for him. 8:19 to go in the first. Lakers are down 3 on the world champion Lakers Basketball Network.
Lakers led 2-0. Now they trail 9-6. Our upcoming schedule. Cleveland will be here Friday night. Tickets are available. Lakers will be over in Utah on Saturday night. Vancouver here Monday night, and Houston here a week from Friday. At the free throw line, looking for his 4th free throw of the game. He's missed the first 3, Olowokandi. But he's got 2 fouls on Shaq, and he makes a free throw. That gives him 5 points in the ball game. And it's 10-6. The Los Angeles Lakers trail it by 4. Picking ball up in the backcourt, giving it to Kobe. Shaw, now the ball over here to Grant. Over to Kobe. Kobe goes down the middle. Throws it in. Basket counts, and it's a blocking foul. The blocking foul will be called against Darius Miles.
Now, there was a little indecision in my mind on the way the officials were going to blow the whistle after that. I mean, when they blew the whistle, they didn't know whether they were going to call the charge or the block. They ended up saying it's a blocking foul. It's Kobe creating a shot, getting to the basket, getting the hoop, and the foul will shoot a free throw.
16th sub out in 18 games here tonight. 18,997. Free throw is a 3-point play by Kobe. He leads the Lakers in scoring with 3. 4 Lakers have scored in the ball game. Shaw has not tried a shot yet. Lakers trail 10-9. Bounce pass goes into Olowokandi, and he gets a 3rd foul on Shaq. He's going to try. Whips it back out of front. Wide open for 3, and they drills that 3-pointer. A nice shot by Odom for his 5th point. Odom on the season, 3-point shooting, 35%. That's his 42nd make in 120 tries. 13-9, Los Angeles Lakers are trailing the Los Angeles Clippers. Here's the ball bounce to Kobe. Kobe stops at the 20 right in the face of Richardson. Boy, that was a quick release, wasn't it?
Quick release, good elevation. What else can you do defensively against Kobe?
A good pass also. Let's say that for Grant on that bounce pass. 13-11. The Lakers are behind. The Clippers on top. And here's the ball to Olowokandi. Rebound is off and it's taken by Shaw. Shaw in the front court takes it over to Kobe, who becomes a one-man wrecking crew. Drives underneath and kicks it out of bounds off his own foot. Turnover, Kobe.
Good move by Kobe, as so often happens to players, and every player has it happen. You dribble it off your foot.
All right, it's 13-11. The Clips with the ball in the lead. And here in the front court is Jeff McInnis, 4-year North Carolinian. 5 out of 7 shots made by the Clips so far. Thrown by Olowokandi. Odom directing traffic. He's made 2 hoops. Might try another one. Down the middle of the country. Got his hand under it when he couldn't decide whether to stop and shoot or continue a dribble.
Yeah, easy call by the official that time. Even the coach of the Clippers, Alvin Gentry, had to shake his head and say, good call.
13-11, Los Angeles.
We're not happy.
The Lakers are behind the Los Angeles Clippers. Ball in the front court to Grant, and Grant holds it up and brings it out to Kobe. Kobe looking, brings it over to Shaw. Shaq's got to get in this game. He's got it down the middle for a hook shot of 6. That's no good. Not close. The rebound is off, taken by Darius Miles. 202-pound, 19-year-old kid. Maybe one of the fastest runners at 6'9" the league has ever had. Now we got Boykins with the ball. Excuse me, that's not Boykins. That's McInnis with the ball. Now the ball comes over to the right side to Richardson. Drive the base. Stop. Good jumper. No good. Nice rebound by Grant with both hands to Kobe. Kobe in the front court. Good defensive transition by the Clippers, but Kobe stops and lets the 4 defenders go underneath, and he stops at the free throw line and scores. We're tied at 13.
Fundamentally, just how you teach it. Stop at the free throw line, take the shot.
Now once more with the ball, we've got McInnis out of front. Olowokandi. He comes out of the hole for a while. Throws it up and in, fouled by Fox. Odom going to the line. In the last game they played, he treated Fox with disdain. He likes to size advantage that he has.
Well, he's posting up and he's left-handed, which gives him an automatic advantage because you don't play against that many left-handers, and it's tough to read what they do sometimes. If you just shoot the jump hook, Rick picks up the foul.
Odom at the line looking for his 8-point early going, misses, and their free throwing is not good. They sound like the Lakers are 1 out of 5. The Lakers are 1 for 1. Now with the ball in the front court, a high pass. Fox saves it, throws it out in front. That's a lucky pass. It got to Kobe. Kobe to the dribble, draws the crowd. He throws it away. They finally got the turnover completed. They worked on it for 5 minutes. Bryant underneath and makes a nice reverse layup. And the guy who did that is McInnis. Now coming down the floor, the Lakers turn it over again. And they're looking like a team that's been off for a month, not a few days.
The pass that Kobe tried, the angle of the pass was flat. When you're trying a flat pass, the defender's in the way. They pick it off and go the other way.
Lakers trail by 4. Ball brought in at the baseline. And they take it in low to Odom. Odom against Fox. Size advantage. In a turn with the left hand. McInnis, he didn't shoot it, but out in front, they'll shoot it with Richardson 3. That's no good. The rebound to Shaq. That's his second board. And the Lakers trail 17-13. Fox dribbles through the key and brings it out to Shaq. 3-point country. Now the ball over to Fox, and then some of the crowd yells shoot it. Over to Kobe to the 20-footer. That's good. Good thing he dressed tonight. He's got 9 of the Lakers' 15. 17-15 score. And they turn it over, and the ball comes to Kobe. And the Lakers could catch him this time. Maybe I should say Kobe could. He puts it up in the bag. No Shaq could. He puts it up, missed the layup. Rebound is off. It was kind of a tough shot for Shaq. A little bit of a hook. 3-on-2 break the other way. McInnis underneath. No basket. And a blocking foul is called on Fox.
You know, if Rick Fox just stands there, but he stood, but he jumped. As soon as he left his feet and contact was made, it turned it into a blocking foul in the mind of the official. McInnis with the pass, Fox with the foul.
Coming into the ball game will be Robert Horry, the hero of the overtime win in their last meeting. The Lakers have won all 3 games they've played this year. The free throw is no good. And they continue to struggle at the free throw line is Quentin Richardson. Richardson as a free thrower this year, 64%, averaging 8 points. Fox goes out of the ball game with 2 fouls, the same as Shaq got in the first couple of minutes. Richardson once more. Free throw good. And the score, 18-15. Los Angeles Lakers trailing the Los Angeles Clippers. Chip Hearn, Stu Lance, and you people over in our street, hope you're enjoying it. The ball in the front court to Robert Horry. Horry brings the ball to Shaw. Shaw looks to Shaq in playing the low post. It goes into Shaq. Shaq has no hook shot advantage there. It can have to back in. He backs in. Turn right hand. No good. Pushing off Odom. Easy play to call. Silly foul by Odom. Right out in the open. Both hands pushing.
And you know what's happening, Chick? He pushes Horace Grant. And Horace Grant's going to find himself open for offensive rebounds because, again, tonight, as the Clippers do, Darius Miles is trying to go over and get the block of Shaquille's shot, and that's freeing up Grant for boards.
Robert Horry brings the ball in. Horry gives it out in front to Shaw. Out to Kobe. Kobe to the dribble. 20-foot jumper. Goes in and comes out, and the rebound is off to Oliver Condi, who drops it, and off the size 15 shoe and rolls out of bounds.
Coming into the game for the Clippers is Eric Piakowski, and the report on Eric is, boy, a 3-point shooter deluxe. He can shoot the ball as soon as he steps across midcourt. Down the stretch, he doesn't start games, but down the stretch, he's always in the game, and he's a veteran. He's one of the oldest guys on their team, and he's a young guy. He's only 30 years old. He feels like he's an old man with them.
He's their 3rd best scorer, despite the fact that he only averages 21 minutes a game. The ball is into Kobe. Kobe gets a screen by Shaq and comes around. Likes to step back and shoot it. Under to Shaq. 2 men on him. He throws it up. It won't go in. The rebound is off on a foul on Robert Horry. Piakowski got caught for pushing off before Horry did.
You know, when you're at guard and all of a sudden you've switched off and you find yourself trying to box out a forward, a bigger player, you just have to really do the boxing out. Don't worry about getting the rebound per se. Just make sure that he doesn't.
3 team fouls against the Clips. The Lakers are out of team fouls. Kobe out in front. The rebound is off and is grabbed nicely in the air by Quentin Richardson. Long pass the other way to Piakowski. He goes to the base and does what he does best. Shoots a 20-footer and hits it. Nice shot. That's beautiful shooting.
The guy's a gunslinger, man. He's a higher shot. He comes into the game for one purpose.
But he only shoots 42%. 20-15. Horry down the middle. Lob into the Shaq. And we got a foul called out in front. The foul is going to be called on number 5, Jeff McInnis.
Well, the Lakers tried to run a little play where Robert comes off and then throws a lob to Shaquille, and Jeff McInnis recognized the play, grabbed Shaquille so that he couldn't go to the basket.
Little, and I mean little.
Oh, how little?
Earl Boykins comes in 5'5", they say. That's with heavy soul.
And he's not a buck 33. No, he's about a buck and a
Ball is into Kobe. Both teams are on a foul. That's underneath the basket. Scoring on the end is Shaw.
Right away, they post up on little Earl Boykins. He's going to see a lot of that.
20-17. Dribble drive, Boykins. He's against Kobe. He's quicker than a wing. He's yo-yoing up and down. Kobe's after him. Kobe said, where'd you go? He gets it down the middle, shoot over you and score! Nice play by Boykins. He took Kobe to school. 22-17.
Kobe went for the steal. Just keep the little fella in front of you.
Now the ball into Shaq. Stolen by Parakowski. Knocks it down. They give it to Richardson. Back to Parakowski. Underneath. Slam dunk. Darius Miles. Beautiful fast break. We go the other way. 3-on-1. And they throw it out of bounds. 3-on-1 break, including Shaq and Kobe, and Harper threw it out of bounds.
Well, Kobe had jumped expecting the lob pass, and Harp throws a straight pass. You can't do both. We've got a timeout. 2:53 to go in the first, and the Lakers down by 7, 24-17 on the World Champion Lakers Basketball Network.
Besides the players, we got some celebs here tonight. Oh, pal, Don Rickles. David Spade, fine actor. Chris Rock is here somewhere. Yeah, there he is. The comedian actor, he's always here. And always here, Jack Nicholson. And Jack can't believe what he's seeing. The Lakers are down by 7. The Lakers have made 8 out of 19 shots, but they've committed 6 turnovers.
And the Clippers scored 7 points off of those 6, Chick, and the Lakers have yet to score off of 4 turnovers by the Clippers.
The Lakers have made 10 out of 14 shots, so much 71%.
So much for the defense picking up.
Richardson with the ball. Yeah, I'll say. Richardson out in front. Gives the ball to Darius Miles, playing high school ball a year ago. Averaged 22 points a game his senior year. Ball in low and out the board. Back in low. Hook shot on the way. No good. Thrown down by Olowokowski, and underneath we got a jump ball coming between Harper and Richardson.
As soon as Olowokandi understands counters, and you have to have a counter to all of your moves. He's got Shaq set up now. When he gets ready to shoot that jump hook, if he counters that with a fake jump hook and a little drop, he's got you.
And now we're going to have a realignment of the players around the restraining area of the jump ball. Into the ball game for the Lakers, Mike Penberthy, Lee Masters College, 6'3", 185, a rookie.
Out of the game, Kobe Bryant.
It's up, tipped, and goes to Miles. Tipped in deep. Dunk hits the heel and comes out. Oh, he had a sure layup, but he wanted to give the crowd something to yell about. He did. Shaw's got it over to Ori. Then go to Shaq. Double feed. Now the ball to Shaw. Penberthy for 3. No good. Rebound hit in the air. Ori's got the rebound off the fingertip to Shaq. Ori out in front to Shaw. Shaw down the middle. Shaw 10-foot jumper in the lane. No good. The rebound to Olowokandi. Olowokandi. Earl Boykins. He went to Eastern Michigan. Pass on the basket. He's still ripping. He comes through 2 men and the crowd loves it. Looked like he was a croquet ball on a croquet court. He's down the middle. Feeds the ball to Miles. 9 in the clock. Miles tries Shaq. That's enough. No. Shaq lucky didn't get a foul. That was a foul charge on Miles. Boy, I'll tell you, he was hustling out there.
Yeah, again, though, it's so much youth that he has. He's just a little bit out of control in that play. If he just relaxes and takes his time, he's going to have a better opportunity. He really just lowers the shoulder on Robert Horry. Easy call for the assist.
Olowokandi out of the ball game, and the former Laker Sean Rooks of Arizona comes in. 6'10", 260. The first quarter has belonged definitely to the Clippers. The Lakers are 1 for their last 9 shots. Ball into Shaq. Out of front. Jump shot for 3. It's not close. Off the front of the rim, and the rebound is off to Darius Miles. The shot was missed by Shaw. And here's Boykins with it. Out of front to Rooks. Rooks holds it up. Wants to give it back to Boykins. Can't see him. On the ball down the middle. Fumble and goes out of bounds off the hands of Corey Maggette. Just came on. He's out of Duke. 2nd year. Originally came in the league after his freshman year at Duke with Seattle. Went to Orlando, and here he is now. Now the ball given off to Shaw. Shaw back out in front to the Lakers guards. And the ball goes over to Penberthy. And roll to Shaq. Turnaround jumper from 3 feet, and foul will send him to the line.
Sean Brooks with the foul. Sean hits Shaq that time right on the elbow area of the arm, and that will definitely misdirect your shot attempt.
This is a quarter the Lakers would like to forget, at least 11 minutes of it. They're down by 7. 1 for 6 shooting field goals.
He's made 6 out of his last 8 attempts from the line against the Jazz.
Makes the first of the night. He's been taking lessons in free throwing from a fellow named Ed Palubinskas, a guy that was a great free thrower down in Louisiana. They say that this week, one of my spies told me that he had Shaq shooting in practice sessions 75 to 80%. The coach said it's a new form that he's got. Well, that form can be thrown away in the second one, and the rebound is often taken by Cherokee Parks. Cherokee Parks went to Marina High School in Huntington Beach. Got the ball brought over here to the old man Maggette. Wide open is Brooks. He was the last to shoot. He fumbled the ball. Goes together, brings it over. Parks, a good outside shooter, and he hits a 20-foot two-pointer. Cherokee just in the ball game at 6'11", 232. This is his 4th team. Came in with Dallas, Minnesota, Vancouver, dribble drive down. That's the way to take advantage of a shot. Brian Shaw.
Shaw doesn't dunk very often. He brought his teammates up.
26. Here's a bank shot. Patkowski banks in another one.
And he tried
27 seconds. I know he did. He hollered bank. Dribble drive. Out in front, the Lakers trailed by 8 for the second time. Horry's got the ball to Penberthy, and the Lakers look confused. Kobe's on the bench. Ball underneath. Foul on Rooks. Shaq will go to the line again.
That's 2 fouls on Sean Rooks. He came in again just a couple of minutes ago, replacing Michael Olowokandi, who did not pick up a foul in the 9 minutes that he played.
Yeah, that's a shoe on the other foot, the usual norm. And now here's Shaq's 3rd free throw of the game. He looks comfortable. Still a good-looking shot. Nothing wrong with that form at all.
Getting ready for Shaq to shoot another free throw. I had a chance to meet and greet the Artesia High basketball team a couple of days ago, Chicky. And they said to say hello to you. And
good.
Shout out to them. They start their league play tomorrow night. Good luck, guys.
Good luck is right. Rooks out of the ball game. Here's the next one by Shaq. The last 3 that he missed were all about 2 inches too long. They were straight as a string. Good arch on them. 28-20.
Back up to it.
That's right. That is a little tired Earl Boykin. 24 years of age. Shoots a 17-footer in the face of Penberthy. 30-20. The Clip lead at the end of 1. Wow. Talk about some of life's little embarrassing moments. Talk about a great effort by an underdog. The Clips on top.
Well, the Clips are on top by 10. Let's see if they can hold on. We've got 3 quarters to play, and the Lakers have yet to play on the World Champion Lakers Basketball Network.
Clippers on top, 30-20, Stu.
And the reason why they're on top 30-20, the energy level is very high for the Clips, and they're shooting a very high percentage because of that. 65%. The Lakers are shooting 39%. The bench of the Clips, well, they're the best scoring bench in the league, and they've got 10 of the 30, and the Laker bench has yet to produce a point.
The Clipper bench made 5 out of 5 shots. Shaq had 1 out of 6 baskets in the quarter and 1 out of 4 free throws. Kobe had 9 points before the coach took him out. He's back in now. And the Lakers, that was a very uninspired first quarter effort by everybody.
Earl Boykins came in really like they needed a picking up. He picked him up even further with his point.
Brian Skinner is in now at a forward. Here's a dribble drive by Boykins. He trades it over to the base sideline where it's thrown away by Parks. Kobe's got it. The defenders come back. Kobe's still dribbling. Takes it out in front. Penberthy back to Kobe in the corner at the baseline. Now in low to the postman, and that's Harper. Harper holding it up. Harper brings it out in front, and they bring the ball to Kobe against Patkowski. In low to Shaq. Shaq down the middle. Nice pass. Corey grabs it and scores it. A little bit low, the pass. Being handled by Corey Maggette. Down the middle. Boykins gives the ball to Parks. Drives the base. Bounce along the base. That's a heck of a pass. It goes through. It went through, but tipped up and in. I believe Horry tipped it in, but they'll give credit to Maggette.
Yeah, Maggette got all of that one.
32-22 is the score. The Los Angeles Lakers down by 10. Now we got the ball to Shaq. Out in front to Horry, and Horry gives to Maggette. Excuse me. Pass underneath the basket as we look under. It's called on
Brian Skinner.
Skinner. He had his dreadlocks cut off. His hair is gone. He had long, long hair. It took him 3 years to grow it. He got it in a paper bag, he said. Throw it back on or what? Shaq's got it underneath for the slam dunk. And I'll tell you, he better get long hair if he's going to try to guard Shaq. Otherwise, he's going to get embarrassed and have a red face.
Well, you know
32 to 24.
You know the double team is coming from the middle. Why would you let him drop it at the baseline?
Now we got the ball in to Skinner. Skinner holds it up. Skinner still holding up. Shaq gives him room to shoot if he wants to. Ball out in front to Boykins. Boykins dribbling. Behind the board. Bounce the ball. No, it didn't bounce it. He turns and shoots a miss from 15. Gets the rebound. Wow. There's guys in Hollywood Park riding horses aren't that big. 32 to 24. Here's Boykins again. Down the middle. He scared Shaq to death. Now the ball. He pivots on Ori. Shoots and rolls it in. Ori lucky didn't get a foul, too. Foul in that play. 34-24, 10-point lead again. The Clippers had a 34-point first quarter most recently against Toronto in the last win. Here's the whistle. Three-point play is completed. A possibility of completing. Shaq's got 7 points. He'll go to the line and shoot his 5th free throw.
Skinner picks up a quick second foul as he hits Shaq on the arm, so he goes out of the game. Lamar Odom checks in with Shaq, as you said, getting ready to see about his free throw.
Coming in for the Lakers will be Isaiah Ryder. This would be a good night for Ryder to show some real stuff, and he's got some real stuff to show. Shaq at the line, would be shooting his free throw.
I've been saying that for a long time about Isaiah.
I know it.
It's the time he's overdue, huh?
I think he is. Of course, he's only playing about 18 minutes a game.
Must be a reason for that, huh?
Yep. Coach's decision. Coach's decision. Another one. The rebound is off. They're making a good save at the baseline. The Clips come down with Boykins handling the ball. Boykins dribbling the ball against Penberthy. Quicker than you think. Boykins out in front wears jersey number 11. The bottom of the 11 goes into the back of his pants. And now out in front, Parks. 20-foot jumper and away. No good. Rebound, Kobe Bryant. Kobe gets his first rebound of the game. Now the ball in the front court. Penberthy to Kobe. Lakers got no rhythm to their offense. The ball to Shaq. Out in front, Isaiah Ryder's 20-foot jumper. In and out. He got tapped. The rebound is off and is taken by Parks. Cherokee gives the Boykins long pass underneath. And they get the ball in the hands of a great shooter, and he makes it again, and that shooter is Piatkowski. Nice pass from Odom to Piatkowski. 10-point lead again.
Well, we got 9 minutes to go in the half, and the Lakers have 26 points.
Oh, they're dominating the Lakers. Outside jumper play over for 3, not close. The rebound to Maggette. Knocked away and out of bounds. Touched by Kobe Bryant. Timeout is called.
Timeout is welcomed by the Lakers as they're down by 10, 36-26, 8:55 to go on the world champion Lakers.
Here is 36-26, the Clippers leading in the second quarter.
Well, there's some scores from around the league. Final score was Toronto over Seattle, 94-92. Also a final, Minnesota beat Phoenix 108-88.
At Phoenix.
At Phoenix, yeah. And Denver leads Charlotte at the half by 4, 50-46.
And here the red-suited Clippers out in front of the Lakers. Shaq is taken out of the ball game in favor of Greg Foster. You people over in Australia are probably saying, which team is the world champion? Well, we got a long way to go yet tonight, but right now the Clippers are leading the Lakers. They've out-rebounded the Lakers 17-10. They've outscored them by 10 points. McInnis gives the ball out in front above the 3 to Maggette and now to Odom. Odom holds it up over his head and gives the ball to Parks. He's a good addition to this ball club. Bounce in low to Maggette. Turns, goes around Fox underneath the score easily. Nice play. Posted Foxy up and left him high and dry. 12-point lead.
Kobe was away from the steal.
26. Pass out at the other end, going underneath the Fox. And he got that steal and put it up and in. Nice pass. 38-28. 12-point lead a minute ago with 8.5 left to play here in the first half. See if the Lakers can catch him by halftime. Or if they can catch him, period.
They can play some defense.
Maggette giving the ball to Odom. Out to Parks. Parks playing a high post. Guarded by Foster. Foster sags off. Out of ball, Maggette shoots over Fox from 20. That's no good. The rebound is off the Grant. His second rebound. He opened the game with a basket. And that's the only lead the Lakers have had, 2-0. Now the ball goes in low to Foster. Foster likes to turn and shoot. Foster against Park. Gives the ball to Grant. Grant brings it over to Fox. The screen is set by Foster. Fox uses it temporarily. Goes around it, almost lost the dribble. Stop, brings to Foster. Foster's 20-foot jumper in the way, no good. Goes up, taken by Maggette. Wow. Go the other way and handling the ball down there is Jeff McInnis. McInnis giving the ball with a 10-point lead. Out to Odom, trying to make it 11. 13, I should have said, and the rebound is off because he missed the three, and it goes to Grant. In the front court, Fox, bounce in low to Kobe, turn, shoot, 8 threes. Beautiful body control. He had 9 points in the first 5 minutes. That's the first since because he set out most of the end of the first quarter.
The Lakers can do anything about getting their defense on track.
38-30, jump shot on the way. That's no good from 18. The rebound to Kobe. Kobe gets his rebound number 2. Here's Fox down the middle. It goes. It didn't go. He was fouled by Parks. Parks didn't foul him hard enough to make him miss it, and Fox was expecting a harder contact, I do believe.
Exactly what took place, Chick. Rick all of a sudden says he's just going to clobber me and lose his concentration, tries a little finger roll instead of trying to ride it up and throw down the dunk. Finger rolls it right out of the basket, but he will get 2 shots.
Parks goes out of the ball game, and the starting center, Olowokandi, comes in. Shaq is on the bench for the Lakers. Shaq had 2 fouls in the first 3 minutes. Fox makes his 3rd consecutive point, and in the ball game he's got a total of 5. The Lakers cut the deficit to 7. Kwiatkowski goes out of the ball game, and in to replace him is Richardson. Quentin started at the guard position. He's a 6'6", well-built guard out of DePaul in Chicago. Foxy makes them both, and it's 38-32. A smattering of applause here now as the Lakers roll off 6 consecutive points. That's their biggest run of the night. Play with 6:45 left to play in the first half. Ball out to Olowokandi, and he gives the ball to Odom. Odom against Bryant. Dribbling the ball. Comes down the middle. Left hand position. Didn't use it. Gives it out of front. Jump shot for 3. That's good. Nice shot by Quentin Richardson. He's got 7 points. And they beat him 41-32. Kobe with the ball for the Lakers. Shoots a 20-foot jumper to the post. The rebound is off, grabbed and hung on to by Olowokandi. Olowokandi, Michael is first name, gives the ball to McInnis. McInnis in the front court. McInnis dribbling the ball, backs up above the 3 and steps on it. Now whistle and foul going to be on Kobe, I think.
Foster holding the
One of them play away from the ball. It's Foster.
Trying to keep Olowokandi from getting that good low post position, held him up, and gets called for the foul.
It's the Lakers' first team foul. The opponent has 3. Maggette leaves the ball game. Miles returns for the Clips. Miles takes the ball over the sideline. Baseline. 20-foot jumper, good. Nobody guarding him, so he hits that left-hand jumper. 6 minutes to play in the first half. And the Lakers trailing 43-32, giving up 5 points in a row. Now Kobe trying to get 3 of them back. He didn't get it, and the rebound is off. Free ball. Grant goes together with a hustle play, beating 3 red-suited guys to the ball. Now Fox takes a bad pass into Kobe, who skies to get it. He turns at the base. 18-foot jumper. That's no good. The rebound to Miles. Here they come. Miles with the ball. He's a speed person at 6'9". Gives the ball out in front. Good. Jump shot by Odom. Maybe a bad shot selection, but he wants to break their back if he possibly could, and he missed from 3. Rebound to Foster, and down the floor we get a whistle and a timeout called by the Los Angeles Lakers.
Well, they need it again. It's 5:20 to go in the half. Lakers down by 11, 43-32 on the world champion Lakers Basketball Network.
Tried to intercept the ball, and he accidentally hit McInnis in the face. McInnis is down. I don't think he's hurt seriously, but Foxy was the first over there to console him.
One of the things that puts so much pressure on the defense with the Clippers is the fact that they've got so many players that can rebound and push. They don't have to rebound and look for an outlet guy. They just rebound it and push it up the floor. Darius Miles does it. Lamar Odom does it. Maggette does it. So they can get in transition real fast. And Jeff McInnis says, I don't want to get put to the floor quite so fast.
46-38 the score. 3:24 to play in a half. Miles has got the ball. Miles goes to get it, but he can't because Olowokandi beats him to it. His teammate McInnis dribbling the ball. Indeed, throws the ball away to Kobe. Kobe's doing it all now. Kobe the air, and that is the 4th team foul against the Clips.
Richardson that time, not a real good foul. There's no way that Kobe was shooting that ball. No way. He was looking to pass to Isaiah Ryder.
Or they can't do anything but give it out of bounds.
They changed finally.
No way he's shooting. 3:07 left to play. Here in the first half, Chick Hearn with Stu Lance, coming to you from Los Angeles on Fox Sports Net and Fox Sports Australia. Now the ball over to Kobe. Kobe takes the ball in low to Shaq and a pushing foul on Olowokandi. They're out of fouls. Shaq will go to the line.
On the old rooting foul, they took that out many years ago where they would not let the defender put his leg in between the legs of the offensive guy and then start to push him out. That's what happened with Olowokandi. He picks up a foul. Shaq to shoot two. Shaq,
who's been taking free throw lessons this week after practice, particularly on Saturday, is 1 for 5. 2 for 6. Olowokandi coming in for the Lakers, for the Clippers. Going out is Quentin Richardson. Kwiatkowski came on and made both of the shots he tried. Second free throw, no good. We got a whistle.
I think a lane violation there.
Boy, that is dumb. With Shaq shooting, why would you jump in the lane?
Well, they know it's going to be a miss, so they're so anxious to get rebound position. Boxing out real quick.
Shaq misses it anyway. Missed 2 out of the 3. The rebound is off to Olowokandi. The Lakers trail by 7. 2:58 left to play in the first half. With the ball in the front court, the Clippers, they dominated it. No question about it. Ball to Odom. He tries to add it on to it, and he does with a 2-pointer over Ori, who was sagging off of him. That's 11 points for him. High for his ball club, of course. Ori's got it. The Lakers trail 48-39. Ball down the middle of Shaq. 8-footer straight away. Shot put down. Step back a few more feet, and he'll be shooting a free throw. 48-41. They're down by 7. Now the ball out in front of Odom. Odom dribbled around Ori. Down the middle, throws it up. Didn't get the roll. Tough luck. The rebound is up. And done. I'm glad Odom didn't try to stop that.
Yeah, even if he tries to contest the shot, you've got to...
Between the Lakers trail with 2 minutes left to play in the period. And the Lakers come back and see if they can play some defense one time down. Kwiatkowski for 3 and on the way. He missed one. And the rebound is off, knocked out of bounds by the forward Miles.
Again, though, when you're playing a guy that shoots the ball, you don't try to cheat over the top of a screen, follow him on his hip. As Kobe says, let me show you how to take off and get airborne and show off on the World Champion Lakers Basketball Network. Well, the NBA's leading scorer again, showing why he's got all the shots and some. The routine, the fundamental jump shot. Got it to perfection. And what you really can teach is just natural, the ability to fly. He's got 17 points and 3 steals.
Yeah, but it should be after that. Only 19 minutes. They held him out 5 minutes in the first quarter. He's not involved. Ball in Shaw. He scores it, and the Lakers cut the deficit to just 3. It was 12. It's now 48-45. A minute and a half left to play here in the first half. Dribble drive by Kwiatkowski down the middle. Throws it up and in. Nice play. This guy just continues to amaze me, and it shouldn't because I've been watching him so many years. 50-45. What an asset he is for any basketball club, including the Clips. Now Grant with the ball. Grant gives the ball to Kobe. Kobe guarded by Kwiatkowski. Ball in low to Shaw. Gluster passes. Goes into the air for a 20-foot jumper. That's what he opened the game with. Misses, and the rebound is off to Cherokee Parks back in there at center at 6'11". He gives the little guy Earl Boykins 5'5". Boykins with the ball. Boykins yo-yoing up and down. Boykins gets the screen by Parks. Comes around underneath. Throws it back out to Parks. Nice pass under to Miles. Reverse layup on the way. No. To Kwiatkowski. No. Foul. Shaq. 3 fouls on Shaq. Kwiatkowski.
Obviously, the Lakers and Shaq, of course, would have hoped. There's only 41 seconds to go in the half that he could have ended this half with only the 2 fouls, but he picks up his 3rd foul. So will they leave him in?
No, I hope not. No, here comes, they're going to bring in the big kid, Stanislav Medvedenko. And Shaq goes out. Ironically, they're the two that they rescinded the technical foul calls against by the referees last week. Each of them was found to be not guilty. The ball was brought into Boykins. Boykins with a full set on the 24. Boykins dribbling the ball, 35 left in the game clock. Boykins dribble drive. Maggette gets a blocking foul. That's 2 shots coming.
It's hard to get anything but a blocking foul on Boykins when he decides to go. He's so fast. He comes off, and all of a sudden, he runs into the waist of Medvedenko, goes to the floor, but he'll shoot too. And this little guy is different. Just because he's small, people think, well, he just can't. He can play. He can flat play.
This is his first game. The free throw is good. Keon Dooling of Missouri, a rookie and a good one, 6'5", 193 guard, was put on the injured list just before the game, and they activated this young man, Earl Boykins. This is his 3rd year in the league. It's first with this team. He's played a total of 48 games prior to this year. The free throws are both good, and it's a 7-point lead. 30 seconds left. Kobe with the ball. Stop. 20-foot jumper. That's on the way. No good to rebound. Here we go with Miles. Miles gives it ahead to Boykins. Miles passes. Score underneath. A great pass to Corey Maggette. Oh, what a nice play. That's picture perfect.
It's just become, it's a track meet, and there's no way the Lakers can win this track meet.
The Lakers do not have speed to match this truck. At no time, any position. Ball goes over to Shaw. 3-point victory. 8 seconds left. Kobe's got it. He's going to shoot it. Kobe in deep. Turn, shoots. 12-footer. He's going to shoot it. Nice shot. That's incredible. Yes, it is. 54-47. That gives him 19 points, and the half is over. Does the basket count? No way. The coach of the Clips is signaling good basket, Alvin Gentry, but it doesn't count, and the coach breaks into a laugh.
Well, the Clippers in the half up by 7, 54-47. As Piekowski's basket at the end was not allowed. 54-47, the Clippers lead on the world champion Lakers Basketball Network.
All right, we go to the second half. The Clippers leading 54-47. Their bench outscored the Laker bench 24-2.
Well, leading scorers in the first half for the Clips. Lamar Odom led the way with 11 points. Off the bench, Eric Piekowski had 8. Quentin Richardson, starting guard, had 7 points. For the Lakers, well, they were led by Kobe Bryant. The NBA's leading scorer had 19 points and 3 steals. Shaquille, 12 points, but his play was limited. Early foul trouble again. Brian Shaw, in a rare start, had 6 points for the Lakers. Shooting 54% by the Clippers. That's way too high. The Lakers shot 47%. Free throws 4 out of 9 by the Clips, 5 out of 10 by the Lakers. The two worst shooting free throw teams in the league. Rebounding was 27-17 in favor of the Clippers. Lakers had 6 turnovers. The Clippers had 10.
Odom brings the ball in, and it's handled down there by the guard. That's Jeff McInnis, who got hit in the Adam's apple, but I'm glad to say that he's okay. Ball in the front court to Richardson, the other guard, and now out in front of McInnis. McInnis over to Odom. First basket, third quarter. Let's see what happens. Darius Miles with it. Miles shoots over Grant from 18. There's a basket. And they lead it by 9, 56-47.
Rare outside shot by Darius. He's normally in transition getting his hoops.
And the Lakers decide the third quarter not to go to work. Their play did not deserve a victory or a lead at halftime. Jump shot by Kobe, no good from 12. Rebound shot underneath. Lays it up and in, and it just barely creeped in. The Lakers trail it by 7. Will that be the start of something big?
Shaq really walked over Candy too far under the basket that time.
Walked him, huh? Like they were dancing. Now we got the ball out to Odom. Odom looking for a passing lane. Odom pointing direction. Now dribbling the ball with the right hand. He's the left-hander. The ball into Olowokandi. Shaq with 3 fouls. Remember, Olowokandi goes away. Ball in. Makes an 8-foot jumper over Shaq. He's got Shaq by the wristbands right now because Shaq's got 3 fouls and can't afford that 4th this early in the third. 58-49. The Lakers trailing. Fox with the ball. Shaq trying to get through the D and a foul on Olowokandi. That's silly, Olowokandi. Don't point like that. My God, you did everything but right.
That's only the second foul on Michael. Normally, he picks up 2 fouls against Shaquille within 5 minutes of the first quarter.
Fox has got the ball. Fox has still got the ball. Now he brings the ball in, and it goes to the guy who did not start tonight. Fox giving the ball. They steal the ball from Fox. Here they go. Fast break. 3-on-1. Down the middle, McInnis underneath to Richardson. Lay it up and in. Nice play. Bad play by Fox. Shooting with the other end. Kobe gets the long pass. Give to Shaq. He tries to grab it back to Kobe. Kobe. That didn't work either. Kobe does retrieve the ball, takes it to Grant, and Grant to Harper. Back over to Grant. A 20-footer on the way. That's very short. Rebound back to Grant. Out in front to Fox. And if it ever looked like they don't know where the other guy is, it's right now. There's going to be a foul on Darius Miles inside, pushing in the lane.
Again, though, the tempo of the game has belonged to the Clippers from the outset. They want to play a very, very up-tempo, scattered game. The Lakers want to play a walk-it-up, slow, half-court game.
That's the Lakers style. The other team's got speed. The Lakers do not have speed compared to this team. Ball to Kobe. Kobe with the ball to the dribble. Kobe down the middle, give the shot. Underneath, put it up, back it in. Boy, he did a good job of avoiding a charge there. You know that?
I thought for sure that he would get the whistle for the offensive foul.
He did too, but he used his body to string it around to the big guy, Miles. 60 to 51, the Lakers trail in the third. Here's the ball over to Richardson. Richardson dribbling the ball. Go to the base. And deep. Throws it up, banks it in. Nice play over the veteran, Harper. Boy, that's a nice play. 62 to 51. And the Lakers trail it by 11 again. Harper in the third quarter. A Laker home game. Out in front, O'Neal. O'Neal dribbling the ball and bounce the ball over to Fox. Fox shoots a three. Missed it badly. The rebound is off the free ball. In the lane, they pick it off, and the ball goes to Richardson. Long lead the other way. Along the sideline, McInnis skies to get it. McInnis looks inside, goes to Olma Condi, trying to get that fourth foul on Shaq. Illegal defense called against the Lakers. First time it's been called. So the ball goes out of bounds.
You know, with Shaq being in early foul trouble especially, and now in foul trouble, the Lakers having to look to help him in the post. Normally, Shaq can take care of his man by himself.
In this quarter, well, let's go back to the first quarter. The Clippers opened the game making their first 4 shots. Outside, that's no good, but a foul is on Grant and 2 shots coming to the rookie Miles. In the first quarter, they made their first 4 shots. In this quarter, the Clippers have made their first 4 shots.
One of the reasons why they're shooting such a high percentage, give them credit. They're getting the high percentage shot and making it. It's up to the Lakers to deny that.
And remember that bench number I gave you, folks. 24 to 2, the Clipper bench outscored the Lakers. Free throw is no good. The free throwing by both clubs is terrible. That's 2 out of 6 for their team, and the Lakers are 2 out of 7. Darius Miles once more. That's good. And the Lakers trail by 12. Second time they've trailed by that many in this ball game. 63 to 51. We're in the third quarter with only 9 minutes left to play in the period. Ball in front court to the Lakers 5. Even the Lakers passes from close in are not on the mark like they should be. Guys have to leap for them. Ball back into Shaq. Out in front to Fox. Fox down the middle. Gives the ball out to Kobe for the 23. Boy, I'll tell you, that was a tough shot. And that gives him 21 points in the game. 63 to 53. And with the ball in the attacking zone now, the little guard, McInnis, holds up and hits a 20-foot jumper. They won't be caught. 65 to 53. They're playing a superb basketball game, the Clippers. Now the ball, he brought it over here to Grant. Grant holds it up, looks down the middle of Fox. Grant goes to the dribble. Almost knocked away and out of bounds. It's off the hands of Harper after deflection by McInnis. Very lucky it wasn't intercepted for a layup.
But the Clips, give them credit again for, even in the half-court defensive set, they're putting so much pressure. They're trying to jump things and causing the Lakers a little bit wrong.
Fox leaves the ball game and Robert Horry comes in. Horry will be guarding Odom. Odom brings the ball to the front court and gives it off to Richardson. Now they go in low to Olma Condi. You can see what the coach is told him to do. Go after the foul. Putting it in right through again. Right in. What a block shot by Kobe. The ball given off to Odom. 3 in the clock. 2 in the clock. He fires for 3 and got it. About a 28-footer. Odom looked up and saw it was 4 on the clock. Took another stride and hit that long one, and they lead by 15. Ball under the shot. Shaq cut it to 13 with a little turnaround jumper. Wow.
When he turned around to shoot that shot, Horace Grant was wide open. Shaq didn't see him because Miles.
68-55. And out in front, Kobe trying to stick with a quick ball to McInnis. Screen by Oliver Candy. McInnis brings it to Richardson. He fires from distance. He drills a 3. Oh, it's their night. Baby, it is their night. They're playing a masterful ball game. And they got the Lakers reeling. It's like a knockout puncher getting ready for the final blow. But the Lakers can still go. We got a lot of rounds to play yet in this fight. The ball goes in low to Shaq. The Lakers trail by 16 points. Biggest lead of the ball game. Nice hook shot by Shaq of 12 feet. And Shaq now has made 8 points in the quarter to run his total for the game to 20. He's made 8 out of the 10. In the third quarter now, the Clips have made 7 out of 8 shots. Miles dribble around Grant. Grant blocks the shot, but the foul is called.
Very close to a carry there. Nice crossover by Darius Miles, but that's the same crossover that the officials this year have cracked down on as Darius really turns it over, gets by Grant. Grant with the nice block, comes off the ball. Seemed like he hit Darius on the forehead as his momentum carried him through.
Clippers field goal in this quarter, 7 out of 8, including 2 3-pointers. The Lakers are down by 14. 15 if he can make a free throw. He missed the first one. And once more at the line, Darius Miles, just 19 years of age. A year ago playing high school ball at East St. Louis High. Averaged 12 rebounds and 22 points a game his senior year. Kobe, his senior year in Pennsylvania in high school, averaged 32 points. 10 more than Miles did. I don't know if it's tougher leagues or not or anything like that, but just giving you numbers. Second free throw is good. 15-point lead, 72-57. And coming with the ball in the front court, Kobe picks up the dribble at the 10-second line and gives the ball to Ori. Ori to Kobe. Kobe dribbling, double team. He's in trouble. He goes in the air, shows a high pass. It's saved, maybe. No, can't save it. Knocked out of bounds. Bad pass. Turnover by Kobe.
Lamar Odom, the team's leader for the Clippers, really have himself a solid game tonight. The shot-by-shot chart to show you why. He just knocked down one long three-pointer as the clock was expiring. He's taken a total of 9 shots. He's made 6. He missed 3, and he's shown his variety, been all over the floor.
Richardson at the line looking for his 17th point. Doesn't get it on the free throw. Boy, their free throwing is horrible, but other than that, their game is very sound. The Lakers, with 1:36 left in the first half, trailed by 3. Since then, they've been outscored 26-12. Ball into Shaq. Shaq underneath the basket, a bad pass. Broken up. Intended for Grant. Long pass the other way underneath. They try to chip it in, and Miles knocked it away. It was intended, the pass was, for Richardson.
Well, Miles is telling him officially he was pushed, and he was, but he was pushed by his own man, Richardson.
74-57. 5.5 to play in the third. The Los Angeles Lakers have trailed it. Nope, they led once. 2-0 to open the game. Now the ball to Grant. And low to Shaq. Fouled intentionally by Rook. So here we go.
Well, they're doing this to see if they can expand this 17-point lead even more because of the just because of the clock and the score. That last play, they had a 3-on-1. They decided to throw the lob, but it was way back. And was it for Miles or was it for Richardson?
I think Richardson. The ball is into Kobe. Kobe brings it out to Shaq at the three-point line. Shaq takes it over to Ori. Ori says, I'll give it to Kobe if I see him. He gives to Kobe, and Kobe's hammered hard underneath. Kobe had an open shot that he passed from about 8 feet. He normally would take, but he thought he saw a better opportunity. He'll shoot 2 free throws.
Since he has the ability to hang in the air and wait for those opportunities to create for themselves, he decided to do just that. And he gets the foul and earns himself a trip to the charity stripe.
He hadn't been at the line much tonight, has he? 1 for 1. 74-57. And if you're joining late, I'm not misstating it. The Clippers are ahead of the Lakers and have been all night. The free throw is good by Kobe. 22 points for him. Leading the league, averaging 29.7. Here's another one by Kobe. That's good. The Lakers have made 7 out of 12 free throws. Kobe and Shaq have 43 of the Lakers' 56. That's miserable.
Well, they've outscored
74-59. Yeah, that's about it. Miles has got the ball. Give it out to Richardson. Richardson dribbling the ball against Shaw. Bounce the ball to Odom. Pumped away and out of bounds by Ori. That old familiar tactic of Ori.
Yeah, and, you know, when you play against Robert, you have to keep that in mind. As soon as I get the ball, I've really got to protect it.
9 on the 24. The inbound pass to McInnis. Screened by Rooks. McInnis around with the dribble. McInnis is left alone. His 18-footer in and out. No, tough luck. And the rebound is off to Grant. The Lakers have a chance to get into the 60s. Believe it or not, with 4:40 left to play in the third quarter, Grant's got the ball. Didn't give it to Shaq yet. Now he does. Shaq turns, shoots, no good, but he'll shoot 2 free throws. Shaq will go to the line. And from this point forward, the Clips are out of fouls.
Foul number 45.
Shaq at the line so far tonight has not been strong.
With 16 and a half minutes left, Chick, Rooks has 4 fouls, so they're going to bring Cherokee Parks in for him. If they're going to go to the Hack-a-Shack, they've got a long time to do it.
2 for 7 free throwing Shaq. Coming in for the Lakers between free throws will be Mark Madsen from Stanford. Shaq's free throw is no good. Piatkowski in, Parks comes in, replacing Rooks and Richardson. Piatkowski has played 8 minutes, made 4 out of 6 shots. Grant goes out of the game for the Los Angeles Lakers, and Madsen comes in. Madsen with very little experience. Has played 126 minutes this year. That free throw is good, giving him 3 out of 9 for the game.
You know, had he not made that, Chick, he probably would have received another one because McInnis had violated the space.
74-60, the Lakers are behind. Still not too late to have a rally. Give me a foul on Shaq. That's his 5th. He threw Parks down as Parks went through the key. A tripping foul on Shaq. Could you believe anybody fouling out 3 games in a row? That's what he's facing tonight.
I've seen it done, but not by a player the caliber of Shaquille. As they just got tangled up there. There's one of those plays, Chick, where I think that's an inadvertent trip. You know, he just got his foot caught there. Let that go. Make Cherokee Park stand up, get up out the key, and continue play.
Shaq's out of the game with his 5th foul. And in the replacement play center is Grant. Ball goes in low to Odom. Odom against Ori. Dribble on Ori. Feeds it down the middle. Nice pass to Miles. And Miles is fouled in the act of shooting by Grant.
You know, when a player gets that far offensively under the basket and he's caught and he leaves his feet, defensively you got to start to drop to almost not to the level of the ball, but right in front of the rim, because that's about the only place he's going to be able to find a spot to make a pass.
The Lakers made 13 points in the quarter. Miles at the line. Free throw no good. He's 2 for 5 free throwing. He's got 6 points in the game. 20 to what did I say the Lakers had in the quarter? The visitors have 20. The Clips 20 to 13. They've outscored the Lakers in the quarter. Second free throw no good. The rebound is off, and the pick goes to Ori. Good job by Grant of battling Odom to get the ball. Now we got the ball being dribbled in the front court. Boykins is in the ball game, that little guard. They list him at 5'5". I don't think he's that big. Now the ball goes in low. It's out in front to Ori. He shoots a 3-pointer. That's not close. The Lakers do not have a 3-pointer in the ball game. But the Lakers come back to play some defense now, trailing by just 14 with lots of time left in the contest. The Clippers have made 6 out of 11 3-pointers. Shot outside by Boykins. No good. The rebound to Kobe. Kobe with the ball in the front court, and Shaq is on the bench. Over a 3-pointer, and Shaw hits one identical to what he did against Portland last year in that 4th quarter rally out of the corner. 74-63.
We may have to do another 4th quarter rally tonight as the Lakers are 1 out of 11 from that distance. The Clips 6 out of 11.
Little drive, Boykins. Lakers trail by 11. Boykins fouled, a silly foul. And the foul is on Ori.
Well, when you're playing against a smaller player, and I don't care how big he is, just in size differential, you have to be really aware of the fact that you got to move your feet. Robert tried to move his body without really moving his feet and gets called for the block.
And going to the line will be Boykins. They just put him on the list of players eligible for the game tonight. Prior to this season, he had played in 48 games. He played in the CBA last year where he averaged 22 points and 9 assists.
Now he really looks like he should be maybe 8th, 9th grade. He is a young-looking man.
Yeah. 1 free throw good, 1 no good. The rebound to Ori. The Lakers trail by 12. 75-63. I think the Lakers' biggest run tonight has been 6 points in a row.
They got 6 in a row once?
I believe they did once in the first half. Kobe's got the ball, and here's the foul going to be called. The foul is on Odom. They're out of foul, so the Lakers will go to the free throw line. Madsen goes over and talks to Kobe, and Kobe tells Madsen what he wants him to do in the triangle offense. Miles leaves the ball game.
Robert Ori going to the line to shoot 2. with Miles leaving, with Parks and Olowokandi coming in, the foot speed obviously diminishes quite a bit. So the Lakers have to try to make their move now.
Orange free throw is good. 75-64. The Lakers trailed by 7 at the half, gave up the first basket of the half, and I said at halftime the team that got that first basket in this quarter would win the game. I wonder if I'm right or wrong. Corey makes them both, and the Lakers cut it down to 10 points, 75-65. Can they ever play any defense tonight? Dribble drive, Boykins falls down, gets up, does a handstand, throws it away, it bounces back to him, out to Odom. Odom's in three-point country. Odom driving on Ori. Odom down the middle, beats Ori, lays it up and in. Nice play. Beautiful play by Odom. One-on-one, 77-65.
If you got a choice, though, you make left-handers go right.
Odom has got 16 points in the ball game.
You make right-handers go
Kobe outside for three. No good, but he'll shoot 3 free throws on a foul by Piatkowski.
Well, Lamar Odom's at the top of the key, a little bit off to the side, working against Ori. Going to his right, comes right back to his left where he wants to be on the world champion Lakers basketball.
Kobe for 3 now. First one good. You think these aren't big free throws now, folks? The Lakers trail 77-66 with 2:33 to play and 2 more free throws coming.
You're down. Every point is big. You don't have any margin for error.
The Clippers on the year shoot 43% of their field goals. 43%. Tonight they're shooting 57%. Now that means they're shooting very well. It also means they're getting some very good looks, as you say.
Some high percentage shots.
Kobe makes 3 in a row. Clutch shooting by the kid. 77-68. 2:33 to play. See if they can get some stops now. Boykin with the ball in the front court. Boykin dribbling the ball. He is against Penberthy. Penberthy has not been making any shots recently. The ball goes in low to Olowokandi. Working on Grant. He backs him in. He's got him where he wants him. Puts it up close. And slam dunk is good by Parks. Beautiful slam dunk by Cherokee Parks. After Olowokandi blew the layup.
Another example of just standing around watching the Clippers attacking and the Lakers watching.
Aggressiveness, 79-68. The ball to Ori. Now the ball to Kobe. 20-footer from the right side. No good. Rebound is off. Here we go with Odom recovering the ball. Here, the little guy puts it up underneath. No rebound underneath. Put up and in. It looked to me like it was Odom getting it, and it's 18 points for him. And they lead it again by 13. The Lakers pull to within, well, what they thought would be reachable range. Now what are they going to do in the last minute and a half of this quarter? The ball to Ori. Out of front to Shaw. Penberthy for 3. He needs it. And so do the Lakers. He didn't get it. Great rebound by Kobe. Out of front. A Shaw 3. They didn't get it. The rebound to Grant.
Long shots, long rebounds.
I don't think Santa Claus could throw it in for him tonight. The ball goes over to Ori. Dribble drive and a foul. And the foul is going to be called on Parks. Going to the line for 2 will be Ori. 81-68. The Lakers trail it.
All the loose balls seem to be going the way of the Clippers because of one thing. They're putting themselves in position to get the loose balls.
And they're hustling to get them.
That's how you do it.
The Lakers' three-point shooting tonight. 1 for 13. The Clippers are much better than that at the three-point line tonight. As a free throw by Ori is good, making it 81-69.
On a minute and 15 to play, the Lakers got to cut off another 3 or 4 points of this lead in that time.
1 for 13 3-points. Wow. You can live by it and you can die by it. Free throws both good. The Lakers doing a good job here, making 5 free throws in a row. 3 by Kobe and now 2 by Ori. Dribble drive. The little guy's in the front court. He's down the middle. He's all the way. Throws it up and in. Oh, what a sensational play by Earl Boykins.
First of all, you do not try to full court trap Earl Boykins.
83-70. Brilliant play by the youngster. Youngster, 24 years of age. There's a bad pass thrown away by Penberthy, and there goes Piatkowski all the way, throws it away in a foul, and the foul will be on Kobe. The bad pass at the other end sets it up, and the Lakers trailing by 13.
Well, the Lakers tried to full court press the Clippers, and the guy with the basketball was Earl Boykin. So what does he do? He just runs by the two defenders who are trying to trap him, and then goes all the way, gets the layup.
Free throw by Piatkowski is good. He's got a wonderful shooting stroke. 80% free thrower coming into this game. Free throws are both good, and they extend their lead to a whopping 15 with only 12 minutes and 49 seconds left. With the ball, Shaw down the middle, stop, 8-foot jumper, no good. Rebound is off. Kobe wants it. Kobe gets it. Kobe's played an outstanding game. Out in front to Penberthy. Penberthy traveled. They call tripping. Oh, there's a break for the Lakers. So he'll go to the line and shoot two, and the foul is on Boykins.
Well, I hope after this free throw, as Mike Penberthy goes past Boykins and gets into the key area, gets tripped up by Boykins, gets called for the foul. I hope after he converts the free throws, they don't try to trap Boykins again.
Not unless they got a mousetrap or something.
That's not going to work.
Free throw is good. 85-71 the scoreboard reads. It's hard to believe, but that's what it is. The Clippers over the Lakers, they've led them all the way tonight, starting with a 30-20 first quarter. The Lakers did outscore them in the second quarter by 3, but the third quarter again has been all clips. Here's Boykins front court. Boykins underneath, the great pass. Basket counts, foul, Grant, and the basket is by Parks on a sensational play by Boykins. And if I had to make a vote for the most inspirational player in the game tonight, it would be Boykins.
Again, Chick, when you have a player the size of Boykins, the number one thing is just to keep him in front of you. You don't put a lot of pressure on him when he has the ball in his hands, because he's going to get around you off the dribble. But because of his size, you take a step back. You want to really ask him to shoot the jumper so that if you're longer than he is, you can affect the shot.
87-72 at the line, Parks. As a free thrower, he's not a good one. 12 out of 18 in the league this year. This is only his 8th game with the Clippers. Free throw is good. Parks played at Marina High School down in Huntington Beach. We got a call timeout. And there's a bounce of the ball very high in the air by Ori. 30 seconds left. Ball brought into Shaw. A little pressure in the backcourt, nothing tough. Shaw dribbled the ball against Piatkowski. Piatkowski is 30 years old. Shaw is 34. Be 35 in March. Now the ball out in front to Kobe. Kobe dribbles on Maggette, beats him underneath, put it up in the foul. Probably Parks, maybe Maggette got him first. They both hit him hard, and Maggette gets charged.
Kobe goes right around Maggette, and Maggette reached in and started trying to strip Kobe of the ball, started at the elbow, went all the way down to the wrist.
Though he was held out 5 minutes in the first quarter, Kobe still has 26 points in the ball game. Came in averaging 29.7 to lead the NBA.
Well, with the score the way it is, he's going to have to get 50 tonight to get the Lakers back to the top.
Free throw is his first miss in 7 tries. Richardson coming back into the guard position. They take Miles out up front. Richardson's a pretty good sized guy, 6'6", 223. The Lakers are not a big club at all. Free throw by Kobe is good this time. The Lakers now have made 7 out of 15 free throws in this quarter. The Clippers have made 13 out of 19 in this quarter. 88-73, the Lakers with 9 seconds left in the period. The unenviable pass to Penberthy trying to guide through the guy Boykins. He takes Penberthy into the popcorn machine, shoots and misses. The rebound is off and knocked out of bounds, and the quarter's over. Wow. What a fake he put on Penberthy.
Penberthy's still looking for him, Chick. He says, where did he go? Help! We played 3 quarters, and the Lakers are down a whopping 15. 88-73 on the world champion Lakers Basketball Network.
The Clippers lead the Lakers 88-73 going to the 4th.
One of the reasons they lead is the fine play of Lamar Odom. He's 8 out of 11 from the field, Chick. He leads them in scoring right now with 18 points. Kobe Bryant leading the Lakers in scoring with 27. The Clippers bench 34 points. They've made 14 out of 25. The Lakers bench 8 points, 1 out of 7. Shooting, well, the Clips are shooting 56% from the field, including 6 out of 11 from three-point land. And Shaq again in foul trouble. He's played 27 minutes, but not the same zest because of the foul trouble. He has 21 points.
The Lakers As we told you, are not playing very good defense. Well, the Clippers on the season against the league averages 90 points a game. Tonight they got 88 at the end of 3. Pass into the Shaq. And the Lakers open up with a deuce. It all started with a pass from Ryder underneath to Ori, who fed it to Shaq. 75-88. The Lakers trail by 13. Can they do it? Boykins with the ball says, nope, because you can't catch me. And pass underneath. The shot no good under there. The rebound is off the 3-ball. Parks has dug it out. Feeds underneath, and they slap and dunk it. Nice play. Basket counts. Foul Ryder.
See, there it is. Again, the speed. They get to the basketball, obviously, a lot faster than the Lakers tonight. And they've been pointed a lot this season. This is the 4th meeting between the two teams. Fortunately for the Lakers, they've won the first 3. This one, another story.
Here's the free throw. That's good by Miles.
Well, they've got their season average.
91. 75. The Lakers a little short of their average. They lead the NBA in scoring, averaging 101 a game. They need 26 in this quarter. That won't do them any good. Here's the ball to Shaq, and he's fouled immediately by Parks intentionally. And Shaq turned to shoot.
There's a good example of disguising the hack-a-Shaq. Just wait until he catches it. He goes up to shoot, grab his arm. Same results. You get him to the free throw line.
Shaq is 33% tonight, 3 out of 9. Of all the years I've done Laker games, I don't remember one that was any more embarrassing, I don't think, than this one. They have just been totally outplayed in every department, including the bench. Free throw by Shaq is no good. Now he'll shoot his 11th try of the night. That's good, and he's 4 out of 11 for the ball game. And the Lakers cut it to 15. 11:08 left to play. It's not funny. It's painful out there. You're down there to those guys in the yellow gold uniforms, the defending world champions. Boykins can go around the screen, give down the middle. It's intercepted. Good hustle play, and a nice play it was by Shaw. Give it to Ryder. Ryder, 3-point country, takes it in low to Shaq. Bounce down the middle. Good pass, and Ori scoring. Excellent pass by Shaq.
You talk about a little drop bounce pass. Shaq between 2 defenders gives it right on the money to Rob.
91-78. 10.5 left to play. They're going to get Odom back in there as quickly as he can report. Ball to Parks. The ball is back to Maggette. Maggette brings the ball over to Boykins. He's going to dream tonight. He's down the middle for the Lakers. A bad dream. Reverse layup. Good. Parks goes along the baseline. 211, 232 pounds, and makes it easy. Reverse uncontested layup. 93-78. The Lakers trail it. Backdoor goes Kobe. The ball doesn't go to him. Ryder takes it in low to Shaq. Shaq's got it against Parks. He makes a move, they'll probably foul it. He brings it out to Shaw. Shaw's 3. That's good.
Mr. Dependable Brian Shaw, I tell you, he really has made some big shots for the Lakers in his tenure.
He certainly has. Only his 2nd year with him. They would never won the world championship, I don't think, without him. Boykins is the Lakers trail it 93-81, 12 points, 9:40 to play. Boykins got the ball. You got to stop somebody once in a while, folks. And Boykins goes in and makes another bank shot from about 4 feet to the right of the goal. Boykins has earned his letter. He can buy a sweater. 95-81. Falling to Shaq. They hammer him. They butcher him. They foul him. You pick any one of 3 guys, they all foul him. Maybe Piatkowski will get it. The largest deficit the Lakers have overcome this season, 13 points. That was at Sacramento, November the 16th.
Again, Boykins going to his right, throwing it high off the glass. Shaq tried to block it, couldn't get to it. Boykins makes it look rather easy.
It was easy for him. He is something to watch, and he gives every man that is, every youngster that is not tall, new life so far as thinking about playing basketball.
But he's also a good example of what you do defensively. Make him go to his left. When he goes with his left into the middle, then what's he going to do?
He does both good. He's 6 out of 13. And the Lakers trail it 95-83, 9:23, and the Laker fans holler, come on, you still got a chance. Piatkowski's got it. You got to stop somebody on defense. Down the middle, nice play defensively by Ori. Knocks it off the leg of Odom and out of bounds. And Odom is arguing, but he knows darn well that the great play was made by Ori right off the leg of Odom. Now the Lakers got a chance to cut to within 10. Ball goes over to Kobe. That's a good guy to have it. Maggette guards him. Kobe to the dribble, brings it over to Shaw for another three-pointer. It's in the way, it's up and over the backboard and out.
About a half inch too short.
Yeah, and Shaq had perfect rebound position if it comes down this side of the board.
You know, when he went up to shoot it, I also thought he was going to change his mind and just throw a pass to Shaq. But Shaq had rolled to the basket and was open.
9 minutes to play, and the Lakers trail it 95-83 in the fourth quarter. Boykins gets a screen out in front from Park. Shaw's trying to break through it. Now there's the ball getting off. Boykins rolls in the backcourt where he legally gets it because Shaw touched it. They come to the front court. He knows the clock. He brings it out in front. Park's on second. They won't get it off. No. They say it was off. Okay. Rebound to Shaq. Now to Kobe. Kobe front court. Kobe underneath the Shaw. Reverse layup block. Knocked out now to the Lakers. Good defensive gem.
Two Clippers blocked that shot. First it was Odom, then Maggette got a piece. As those young legs are all over this basketball floor. We've got a timeout with 8:26 to go in the fourth. Lakers are down by 12 on the world champion Lakers Basketball Network. In his first game with the Clips of Angeles, Earl Boykins has really made an impression, a big-time impression. He's played 17 minutes so far. Got 11 points, made 4 out of 8, and he's taking it to the big guys.
The ball is into Kobe, standing with a toe on the three-point line. Now he gives the ball over to Ryder. No time for stalling, guys. You got to go to work. The ball to Shaq. Backing in, turn, right-hand shot. Thought it would go. If it didn't go, it was fouled.
Well, the foul
is on Olowokandi.
They wanted to foul him, but they didn't want him to get the shot right like that. That was very close to being a successful attempt there. So Shaq's back to the line to shoot 2.
Shaq free throwing in the ball game has made 6 out of 13. 7 out of 14. That practice session apparently has done some good.
They've got him at 50% tonight.
Yeah. Palubinskis, and he makes them both. 8 out of 15. 95-85, 10-point lead with 8 minutes left to play. There's still lots of time. Odom's got the ball, but the Lakers got to play some defense eventually, don't they?
I would think so.
Kwiatkowski takes the ball in low. Shaq breaks it up. Shaq steals the ball.
Stepped on the line.
Stepped on. That's a great try by Shaq. Along the sideline, you try to control 315 to 330 pounds when your body is leaning one way and the line is that what direction? Great play by Shaq. But it's a 24-second reset.
And they're saying that he definitely had control to change possession.
Odom's got it out of bounds with 7:58 left to play. 95-85 to score. Chick Hearn with Tulane from Staples Center. Boykins has been one of the big differences. Here he is, bringing it out of front. Odom to the dribble. Odom dribbling on Ori. Throws up a prayer, and it goes in. He didn't follow through on the shot at all. He threw it about halfway and just let it fly out of his hand, and then it went.
That's one of his shots, and that's the thing about left-handers. They do things a little bit unorthodox, but it works.
That was a heck of a shot, I'll tell you that. He's had a great game and a great season. Bounce out to Ori. Ori 12-footer in the lane. Has to have a bounce, and he got it. But the Lakers are down 97-87, only 7:19 to play. The sands of time are going to run out on you, folks, if you don't get yourself a stop here.
Or 2 or 3.
These Clippers want to do it big time tonight, and they're doing it. Boykins with the ball. Bounce to Odom. Slam. No, he didn't slam it. Laid it in softly because of the great play by Boykins. Without question, he's their most valuable player tonight, in my opinion.
Well, I don't think you're going to get very many arguments, that's for sure, because Earl Boykins has made a big-time dent on the Lakers, despite his size. On the world champion Lakers Basketball Network.
Out of bounds to Kobe. Lakers down by 12. 7 minutes to play. Kobe with the ball. The Lakers need some hoops. Ryder's got the ball. You don't need threes all the time. Ball in low to Shaq. Down the middle he comes. Throws it back. And the basket counts. He's fouled. He threw one, folks, no higher than the rim, and how it got over the front of the rim and went in, I'll never know.
The oddity of this game is Shaq gets to the middle and gets fouled, but yet still converts the shot. The oddity of this game, too, Chick, is in the first half, Kobe took 17 shots. In the second half, he's taken 3.
Kobe makes the free throw. He's 9 out of 17. He's made 6 out of 7 free throws in the fourth quarter, including 6 in a row. Wow. The Lakers lose the ball. However, the Tips lose the ball, and there's going to be a foul on the Lakers, giving them free throw time. No, it's only the second team foul.
It was a two-shot foul. Olowokandi was in the act of shooting. He caught the ball off the rebound, had it in both hands, and was shooting it, not
99-90.
Again, Boykins getting the penetration, causing Shaq to come over, try for the block, frees up Olowokandi. He gets fouled on the shot attempt.
Boy, has this guy done a great job with Shaq's free throwing. Free throw no good. The guy's name is Ed Palubinskas. Ed Palubinskas. He's been working with Shaq for several days now, and he has made 9 out of 17 tonight, 6 in a row. Free throw is good by Olowokandi. A 10-point ball game. That's what we were at the end of the first quarter. 10 points. 6.5 left to play. And see what we can do down the floor with Kobe handling. Brings the ball over to Shaw. Shaw to Ryder, back to Shaw. Then low to Shaq. Shaq pulls shoot 8-footer on the way. Won't go down, but he was fouled. Olowokandi gets it. Shaq will go to the line for 2. They're out of foul. Now Shaq, remember, has made 9 out of 17. In the fourth quarter, he's made 6 out of 7, and the 6 have been consecutive.
And he continues.
Out of 17 as he misses. Second one is no good either. Boy, that hurts. 6:19 to play. The rebound is off and is taken by Odom. Boykins has got the ball. And the Lakers have no one to come close. I'm not sure anybody in the league has many people that can stop this guy. He's tough. Now out in front. Bryant for 3. No good. The rebound is off. He tried to drive the nail in the coffin right there. The rebound to Ori to Kobe. Kobe has not scored in the quarter. Now the ball over to Ori. He fires from the corner. No rebound. Shaq put it up and blow it, but he was fouled. Shaq will make that shot about 98 out of 100, but he must have been fouled terribly hard to make him miss that badly.
Yeah, Eric Bykowski hit him right on the arm, Chicken, hit him real hard. There's no way he was going to convert that shot. He maybe had a chance had he decided to try to power it up with the dunk. After making 6 in a row, he's missed his last 2.
Here's Shaq at the free throw line. Free throws a flat one, no good at all. He had his old form on that one, so he's missed 3 in a row. And the Lakers, with 5:51 to play, trail by 10. But Kobe's got to score.
Well,
Kobe hasn't scored in the quarter.
He's only taken 3 shots in the second half.
He hasn't had a shot in this quarter even. He only taken 3 shots the whole time. Is that what you're saying,
Yeah.
Stu? Wow. Shaq misses 2 more. So the Lakers now in dire trouble. 5:40 to play. Dribble drive Odom behind the board. Odom with the dribble, feeds it underneath. It's stolen by Ori. Here comes Kobe against the little guard. Boykins. Kobe under the shot. Slam dunk. That's a very unselfish and a very brilliant play by Kobe Bryant, combining with Shaq. An 8-point ball game. 5:23 to play. The Lakers need another stop.
What a nice defensive play by Ori that time.
I'll say it was. 190. Odom for 3. No good. Rebound is off. Shaw's got it. Boy, that thing was straight as a string. 1 inch too long by Odom.
Yeah, but still, Chick, it was a bad shot.
A terrible shot selection. Of course it was. Dribble drive Kobe. Kobe over to Shaw. Baseline to Ryder. 17-footer by Ryder, not close. Rebound Ori. Feeds it out in front to Kobe. Kobe has got to score if they're going to win, or even tie to get to another overtime. Kobe to the dribble, stop. It won't be close. Rebound is up. Rebound. He's got it. To Boykin. Boykin goes through the key and comes back out in front where he belongs. Odom says, go on over to the other side of the floor, shorty. Boykin says, who are you talking to? My man is the coach. Here's the dribble ride. Down the middle of Boykin. Feeds it to the sideline where it's handled by Maggette. Down the middle. Kobe ties him up, but a foul is called on Kobe.
Now the Clippers that time very close to a turnover as Maggette and Piatkowski standing side by side, both of them in the same spot, obviously, and get away with it. And then Maggette going to the basket gets fouled to shoot two.
So Maggette at the line. 4:25 to play. The Lakers have gone a minute without scoring a point. So have the Clippers. Maggette came to them from Orlando.
He's a 76% free throw shooter as they take out Earl Boykins. Now the Lakers got to make a move.
Free throw is no good. Another one coming to Maggette. 6'6", 218-pounder. Came out of Duke after his freshman year. Seattle drafted him and sent him draft day to Orlando. Makes the second one. The Lakers trail by 101-92. You can't take your time now, guys. You got to go. Coming with the ball, Shaw. Go in the front court. And if you're the Clippers, you got to play some defense. Make the shots tough as you can. Now the ball out in front to Ryder. Ryder, Holt, dribble, drive. In deep, stop, take. Give the ball to Ori. 17-footer, not close. Not close at all.
Hit the backboard.
You got to get the ball to Kobe Bryant. 4 shots. 101-92. Dribble drive from McInnis. Takes it over to Piatkowski. He drives the middle. Brings it to Odom. His 20-foot jumper. Swish. That might be it, folks. 103-92. What a victory for the Clippers if they can hang on and get it with 3:40 left to play. Magnificent display of basketball skills for one of the youngest teams in the history of the league. Now the ball goes over to Ori. Ori takes it in low to Shaq. Shaq backing in. He knows if he turns and shoots a 10-footer, it's not close. The rebound is off, taken by Piatkowski. 3:23 left to play, and the Lakers trail by 11. First time since March of '97. The Clips have been able to defeat the Los Angeles Lakers if they get it done. McInnis has got it, brings it out to Odom. He's been particularly effective all night. Foul on Kobe Bryant on the dribble. That's free throw time. The Lakers are out of fouls.
And with 3 minutes and 8 seconds to play and 2 free throws coming, boy, the Lakers deep. Oh, they're not. They're not in the bonus yet. It's
not yet.
It's
only the fourth.
They're still in deep trouble.
They've been in deep trouble since they got behind 10 points at the end of the first quarter. The other team has simply outplayed them tonight, shown them up in every department of the game. Particularly effective has been their bench. An outside jumper by Perkins is no good. The rebound to Kobe Bryant. Still doesn't have a point in the fourth quarter. He's only had 1 shot in clutch time. Who do you want shooting? Kobe brings the ball to Ori, back out to Kobe for 3. That's no good, and the rebound is off to Piatkowski. And wisely, they slow it up. They take Boykins out because of the inexperience that he's had. CBA experience. Now dribble drive, timeout call by the Clippers. They are 2 minutes and 35 seconds away from making NBA history, particularly in the city of Los Angeles.
You know what, Chick, if this score holds up, this margin, and it looks like it will, this would be the best thing that for Phil Jackson uses teaching, because no matter what you say, if the Lakers continue to pull out these kind of games, it doesn't hold any water. But now he's got some ammo.
All right, the ball out in front to Piatkowski. Bench scoring. Slipper bench. There's a jump shot outside. Another three-pointer by Odom. Oh, what a game this guy has had, including 9 points in the vital fourth quarter. 106-92. He's got a total of 27 points in the game. Their bench has outscored the Laker bench 39-12.
What was that again?
The bench scoring. Clippers 39, Lakers 12. And of the 12, Ori has 10. Think of that. That's a startling revelation. 106-92, 2:04 to play. The ball comes in. Fox is in. This 20-footer no good. And the rebound. Here goes a breakaway from Maggette all the way. Slam dunk good pass by Odom, about an 80-foot pass. 108-92. They start to celebrate on the bench of the Clippers, and I don't blame them. I'd throw towels. I'd do everything else. Jump shot for 3 outside by Shaw is good. 108-95. The Lakers said they were improving on defense. Tonight they've given up 108 so far.
Well, that's to a team that only averages 90.
Yeah. Down the middle, Odom throws it up again. That little half stroke on the shot, and he knocks in another one. And Odom now with 29 points, 11 in the fourth quarter. Odom's high game this year, that's it. This game he's had this year, his career high is 33, but he had a high game of 27 earlier this year. This is his season high, Odom. Now a foul at the 10-second line by Shaw.
Foul on Bryant Shaw.
The game is all over except taking a shower and answering questions. 110-95, and I think there's going to be a lot of questions asked in both locker rooms. And some of them might be a little hard to answer for some people.
I don't know what's going to be asked in the Clipper locker room. I know what's going to be asked in the Laker locker room. What's going to be asked in the Clipper locker room?
How did you get so high for this basketball game? You guys came out in the first quarter acting like you knew you could win the ball game. You did win the ball game, and you have just simply improved consistently throughout the season, haven't you? They got to say yes.
They have. They've done all of that. But, you know, when they play against the Lakers this year, they've pretty much done that in every game. They come out strong. But the Lakers have had a way of pulling out the close ones. 2 of the first three were very close. The Lakers pulled out. This one, it wasn't close, and they didn't obviously pull it up.
To be very honest, the Lakers could have lost 3 of the 4 games of this club this year. Kobe's dribbling the ball, lost it. McInnis took it away from him. And McInnis brings it to the front court. 1:07 left to play, and now Kobe commits a foul. Kobe lost his cool a little bit going over there, but he also tried to stop the clock with 1:06 to play. Kobe and Shaq each with 5 fouls, which means nothing now. Few teams have ever been at the disposal of a crosstown rival as the Clippers have to the Lakers through the years. And it's credit to Donald Sterling, General Manager Elgin Baylor. Everybody sells him short. Don't you do that. Great general manager and a wonderful human being that helped make NBA basketball what it is today.
Chick, you know, you don't really have a rivalry, though, till one team can beat the other team. You know what I'm saying? You don't. If one team can it's really a rivalry.
Medvedenko missed the shot from the free throw line. Shaq rebounded the basket in, but he pushed off and fouls out for the 3rd consecutive game. Shaq pushing off and fouls out for 3 games in a row. I don't remember any player having done that before. Any Laker player, at least. I'm probably wrong. But
that surprises me that he would foul out 3 games in a row.
As he was leaving, God bless Jack Nicholson, he just walked over to Alvin Gentry with a handshake and said, "Hey, I'm for the Lakers, but you did it tonight. You did it well."
Again, though, when you have a team that you've beaten so many times, the coach can give all the speeches he wants to get you up. It's just become difficult. I think this loss for the Lakers was more than any speech that Phil Jackson could have given them.
Well, Stu, it's not just a loss. You're not losing by 1 or 2 points. You're getting humiliated before a highly partisan Laker crowd. At least they were to start the game.
And sometimes that's even better, not to lose the close one, to get yourself spanked.
It's a 20-point lead. Another free throw coming to Park. 21-point lead. That's a weapon.
Yeah, that's an old-fashioned thrash.
56 seconds left. Penberthy gives the ball off to Medvedenko. He drives the base, go to the base, springs underneath, reverse layup, no, rebound is off. Parks has got that for the Clippers. Now Boykins is back in there. Here comes the little guy.
They want to secure this win with Earl Boykins.
Boykins has got it out in front.
Shoot a 3.
I wish he would and make it. Shoot it, kid. He did. It's on the way. It's no good. Rebound is off. Baseline knocked away and out of bounds. Last touch by Maggette. Denver beat Charlotte tonight. Here's a bad pass thrown away by Penberthy. At the other end goes Maggette. All the way goes Maggette. Lay it up and in.
Like I said,
wow.
This is the kind of whooping that's going to serve Phil Jackson very well.
We'll see.
I think it will.
We will see. I hope you're right. 118-95. Fox dribbles down the middle, misses the layup. And 2 seconds left. This game's over. And all you can say is congratulations to the Clippers, who've got the monkey off their back, finally. Haven't won a game from the Lakers since March of 1997, and they did win this one big. The final score, the Clippers 118, the Lakers 95. This is the World Champion Lakers Basketball Network.